episode of Placement Talk. Myself Samisha Kamble, and I'm extremely delighted to tell you all that today we have with us Dishant Goyal, a final year student at Computer Science and Engineering, who has been placed at Oracle and Infernia. He is placed as a member of technical staff at Oracle and as a software development engineer at Infernia. So before Dishant joins us, let me give you all a list of these companies. Oracle is a cloud technology company that provides organizations with computing infrastructure, and Infernia is an architecture and interior design software developed for professionals and businesses. So let's go and meet Dishant. Hi Dishant, congratulations on your huge success.
Thank you.
So how do you feel getting placed into Oracle and Infernia at the same time, two day zero companies simultaneously?
I actually feel really good. I feel really grateful and happy that I got selected in two of the very great companies that came here. This
Okay.
day zero.
So as much as I remember, you were too busy in the day zero because you were going from one interview rooms to
Yes, that's
the next. Yeah. So tell us more about your 4 years at IIT Gandhinagar.
so it's extremely good. I had lots of learning, lots of fun with friends, met lots of amazing people here.
Okay.
It was overall a really nice journey.
So how did you prepare for both the companies? Like which preparation material, which courses, etc.
Until the companies were listed in the sheet, I didn't had any specific preparations for any of the companies since I
Okay.
didn't know. When I got to know that both the companies were coming, I started looking in their past questions that they have asked on sites like Geeks or LeetCode or similar sites. There are a lot of there is ton of online material that you can find. So mostly I looked at that for company specific preparation.
So like exactly which platform did you use? There are a number of platforms. So.
There are a lot of platforms. So, for the generalized coding interviews that there are, I use mostly LeetCode.
Okay.
And for company specific preparation, I looked at the past problems that they have asked in other interviews. So, there's a big archive for Oracle, Google, and all the major companies have a big archive that it's present online. So, I looked at that.
So can you elaborate more about the interview process, like the question asked, a number of rounds that were there in both the companies?
So Oracle had a coding test which was given by all of us. So that coding test had computer science concepts from databases, operating systems, networks, and aptitude questions as well. So that was more of a generalized entry test. Then after that, the interview had 3 rounds. The first round had one DSA question. Then rest of it was databases concepts like distributed theorems, CAP theorem, and asset properties, NoSQL versus SQL. It's standard questions. The second round of Oracle was more about design. So that was about designing a platform that they give. Then it was more about RESTful APIs and more about system design. The third interview was more open-ended. It was with one of their directors, I suppose. And since my profile includes security a lot, since I've worked a lot in security, he was asking about security concepts and a bit more higher level concepts that we had a discussion sort of on that, like HTTP versus HTTPS, DNSSEC, and network protocols and similar stuff.
Yeah.
Well, coming to Infernia now, Infernia directly had the interview round. So the first round I had was a small round, 10 to 15 minutes with the CEO himself. So he asked about the journey, what I worked on, what I was interested in, and so on. So what I heard, he then passed on to the 2 panels that they had. So the first panel was more about my resume and what I had worked on, going in a bit depth, what I was interested in working, what motivated me, and sort of related stuff. The second panel had system design questions and simple puzzles that they had. So I want to highlight that there were no DSA questions in the complete 6 rounds that I had.
Okay.
So there was just one DSA question at the start.
Yeah. So this is my personal question actually. Should we pursue internships in the second and third year? Like how have the previous year experience in the internships helped you?
Sure. So I think so. I did a second year internship at Newsera, and then I also did a third year internship.
At Newsera itself, like.
No, not Newsera. It was an external internship
Okay.
at Saptang Labs.
Mhm.
That was in security domain, which I was
Mhm.
interested in. So I feel like internships help you a lot
Mhm.
in understanding the work that you are going to do ultimately in a job. It helps you gain more experience about the technologies that you are not going to be familiar with in your college. And yeah, I feel like anyone should go for an internship in third year. So I think an internship in a third year is must because you can also get a PPO after
Yeah.
that. Second year I feel like should be reserved for either a research internship or a academic internship. It doesn't really matter, but you should explore an interest in your second year. So doing something in your second year is also, I'll say, it's beneficial.
So, were you sure from the second year itself, like you have to go in this domain? Because computer science contains a lot of things.
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, I was fortunate enough to explore a lot of computer science in my second year itself. So I stumbled upon security as a domain, and I was really interested in it. I spent a lot of time in it, and yeah, I knew I had to do something in something related to that.
Okay.
So yeah, I knew kind of what I had to do at the end of it.
Yeah. So, what is your take on competitive programming versus development projects? So,
I'll say why not both. I mean, for 4 years is a long time. So
yeah.
in your BTech, you can do both, and I'll highly encourage it. So they both have different flavors to what they have to offer. So I'll say if you're specially preparing for placements, competitive programming or in general, I'll say data structures and algorithm skills will definitely help you. So it's actually a basis for competitive.
Which platform did you use for CP?
So I use Codeforces and LeetCode mostly. So LeetCode is more geared towards interviews and that, but I wanted to get a flavor of deeper data structures and algorithms. So for that, Codeforce is a better platform for getting a good sense of what data structures and algorithms are.
Okay. And what about the project side?
Projects. So I did some projects on my own also to explore development side. That I did some projects in Flask and Django. Other projects I did during my BTech curriculum itself. So in my networks courses and operating system courses or compilers courses.
Okay. So, at last, do you have any advice for juniors? Like, can you give a complete roadmap of the first year, second year, and third year so that we can to get into such big companies?
Sure. Well, first of all, the aim should not be to get into good companies and to learn this amazing field. But okay, I'll say that first year, I think, is specifically in the computer science domain. In first year, it is good enough to have good grasp on one programming language. Doesn't really matter what programming language it is, but you should be able to, you should be comfortable enough to write code in the language. That is more than enough. So you should know one language at the end of first year.
Okay.
At the end of second year, I'll say you should have some knowledge of what are the different domains in computer science. So like software development, competitive programming, machine learning, also AI machine learning, or basically the aim should at the second year should be to know what fields are and what you are interested in personally. Yeah, that's the second year. Third year, I'll say you can specialize more into what you explored in your second year. You can go a bit deep into algorithms or machine learning or even software development or security if you find. But yeah, so that is how I think the roadmap should be.
Okay.
But one thing is, if you are sitting for placements, then algorithms will definitely help you. So the competitive programming track should be kept going.
So, there is a question amongst the juniors that what focus should be given on either CPI part or the learning part. So, what do you think according to you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I think they both go hand in hand. So, CPI, I don't think it's that hard to score a good CPI if you are consistent enough. So if you are on time with your projects, assignments, and you regularly attend the classes, it's very easy to score a good CPI. And you'll have a ton of time remaining where you can explore your interests and get a deep learning. And once you have a deep understanding of the subject, you will naturally score good in the courses as well. So
Okay.
they really both go hand in hand.
Yeah. So, thank you, Dishang, for your precious time. We wish you all the best for your future.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Hi, how can I help?